prices to my driver prices to go higher.
Exactly.
I think now it's more likely because it's
there's a lot
very
of
likely there's a lot of
the
tension.
Middle East is hot.
It is, and that might lead to direct confrontation, armed confrontation between Saudi.
You don't even need armed confrontation. Everybody, traders are just pricing things in, and it looks like we're locked into oil at 60, above 60 till 2017.
It might even go to 70.
Yeah, that's what I heard this morning. Some folks are talking about 70.
It's likely.
Some folks are smiling in Abuja.
To be honest.
Some folks are smiling. But let's move on very quickly and look at. We've talked about the power here, about what we would like to see in terms of improved electricity to help industrial, commodities, and consumer goods producers.
Yes. Oh yes. I think
what would you like? What would you like to see? We're back to 4,000 megawatts per hour.
That is a positive, and it is largely due to improved rainfall. We're seeing improved higher water levels at hydro plants. I think the rainy season has been even rain this morning, which is not.
You got some showers around your area?
Yes, which is surprising. So that continues to support higher water levels at our hydro plants, and yes, power output has been above 4,000 megawatts, and positively to that, translating to the price of diesel, we're seeing diesel price come down, and that would ameliorate distribution and logistics costs.
I'm still unhappy with diesel at 200 naira per liter. Whatever you're saying,
it's cheaper than 210, 205.
I've seen 170. I've seen 190. So
in some very few stations are selling at 190, but I think the average price is 205.
I hope what I get there for 190 is quality. It's value for money, and not just some black thing going into your generator or whatever it is, and just create more problems. But let's talk about the world of cotton. Cotton has so many. When we say cotton, we think first about fabric.
Yes.
But again, there's what you call the cotton oil. I remember.
Yes.
There were in the days of Afcot, for example, and a few others along the Papa Oshodi Expressway. There were a few others who were using.
Yes, I think cotton products. You can get the cotton seed, which can extract oil from that, and
which is edible oil.
Yes, and you can have the fiber, which is used to make fabric and textiles and so on and so forth. Yes, but cotton is a potential source of foreign exchange, a very lucrative source of foreign exchange, in my opinion. I think the cotton industry has suffered as a result of government neglect, but we're currently producing about 360,000 tons. So this year, as of 2016, if you compare that to our neighbor, Benin Republic, which produces about 450,000 tons, there's a mismatch. Benin Republic is about 1/5 of our land mass, but they're producing more. Why is that? Because I think the cotton sector is a government-driven sector.
Why is it government-driven? Because I just have the land, I got a seed, then I plant the cotton.
Yes, but what governments in not only Benin Republic, but Mali, Chad, Burkina Faso, the government provides farmers with seeds, provides farmers with inputs, then buys the products of the farmers. Okay. So that's an incentive for farmers to produce cotton. But the good news is that the Nigerian government is actually focusing on cotton production. We're seeing what the government did with the Anchors Boros program with rice. It's also extending that to cotton. And also a potential game changer will be, I think there was a policy that federal government uniforms, school uniforms, military uniforms should be produced locally, not imported.
Cotton is a long story. But look at the producing states, as you folks put it out there for us.
A lot of states.
Kaduna State, Ondo, Oyo. Now these are states that are relatively quiet. Kaduna seemed to be in the news for some wrong reasons at some point. I don't want to go down that route, but a bit of problems in the southern part of the country, of that state.
Yes.
And I know that with some headsmen and what have you. But if you look at a bit of the southwest.
Yes, mainly in the South Savannah Belt and the Northern Savannah Belt, cotton is the driver of economic activity in those states. For example, Ogun State, where the production of our local tie and dye fabric, known as Adire, has a very...
The Abeokuta,
yes, that is a very popular product. And we're seeing even there's a market for that, for those products. We're seeing the international community embracing African fabric. So that shows that there is a market for Adire.
If we produce cotton, then do we have to export it? or we need to get our textiles industry back for this very important commodity?
That is one thing that is hampering our diversification agenda, which I would call policy incoherence between prioritizing our local industries on one hand and exporting our products.
At the end of the day, if we just grab all the cotton and put them in containers, whatever it is, and ship them overseas, and we're not doing any beneficiation locally, and we just keep creating jobs in Europe and perhaps in Asia or in Turkey, where Ankara comes in, which we import now with our petrol money.
Yes, but I think there are broader issues that are constraining our textile industry. For example, we have an influx of cheaper products from the likes of China and other Asian countries. And also, the cost of manufacturing is extremely high in Nigeria and other African countries because bad roads, poor power supply, and other reasons. So, the textile industry is in doldrums, to be fair.
Our average output is just about 7.71%.
Yes.
Where are we in Africa?
We're number six, producing about 360,000 tons.
Metric tons?
Yes, metric tons. Compare that to Ivory Coast, which produces about 400, Benin Republic 450,000, and the largest producer, Burkina Faso, 600,000 tons.
Well, we talk about cocoa, we talk about cotton, then we talk about rubber, and Ivory Coast and Benin Republic and everyone else seems to be doing better than us.
Yes.
I think I'm getting a little bit upset with this news you come with almost all the time.
The resource costs, once the oil boom, we neglected.
So even in so when we say agriculture, it's not just about rice and cassava and maize.
Yes.
It's also about industrial raw materials like cotton and rubber.
Exactly, yes. Yes. So there's an upside, and if you look at the global dynamics in the cotton market, I think we're seeing a rebound in prices. The market is in a deficit position because it's extremely vulnerable to weather conditions. So I remember in 2015, we saw the La Nina weather phenomenon, which curtailed production in Asia. So now that the weather conditions are improving, we're seeing prices go up. So prices are on the rebound now.
We need to take advantage of that.
Exactly.
We hope so folks are listening. Yes. Thank you very much for bringing some cotton in here. Next time we'll talk about textiles and all that. Let's take a break. When we come back, we're talking about tax. You better sit around and listen to Yomi Olugbero, the partner and West Africa team lead for tax at Deloitte, Nigeria. That's the man we called the tax man.